Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a quick video on Iyanla Vanzant. She used to have this show on her own channel called Iyanla Fix My Life. From everything I know, I always watched that show. I loved it. They said it was on for 8 years. I probably tuned in all 8 and probably seen at least most of the episodes. So Iyanla would get a family or a couple or a person that would write into her and tell their story and say that they needed help. Well, some of the guests as I watched got pissed at her because they did not like the method that she utilized to get them to the finish line, to get them to understand the fault in their ways and give them the tools so that they can fix and go home and change their life. Now, of course, no one's going to change their life in one therapy session. Some don't even change it in 2. Some don't change it in 50. Some don't change it in 300. However, when you get tools like this, maybe you go home and over time, if you keep being consistent, because consistency is the key to anything. If you keep being consistent and utilize the tools, perhaps you wake up one day and it's like, voila, I did change my life. But she was served to me as the catalyst that can get you to the understanding point that, yes, I really do have a problem. This was my contribution to the problem, and this is how I'm going to go about changing it. But because it was a reality show in some type of sense, or, a TV show, in order to keep the audience tuned in, you need some type of drama. You need some type of extraness. And trust and believe, if you watch the show, Iyanla gave it to us, right? And so as a result, it seems from what she said, when she decided to end her show in 2020, she cited several reasons. She said she no longer wanted that energy. And the energy that she was talking about is, people feeling like they could just have access to her all the time because they see her on TV. She said people getting confused because she would go to their homes and be in their kitchen and using their bathrooms, that they could say whatever they wanted to her. And I guess that's why later on, as the years went on in the season, they had a house that the people will come to, I guess, versus her going to someone else's home. So I can see, the changes that were made. And I guess those changes were made as a result of some of the negative energy that was coming towards her way. So she said people will comment on her hair, her nails, just about everything. But I will say this, no matter who you are, an actress, a talk show host, a sports person, the NBA, NFL, whatever, people are going to talk about you because that's what people do. And I think that it is a thin line between, telling your opinion or commentary on something and just being down outright nasty. And what do I mean by that? You can have an actress that, maybe they were in a movie and you didn't like it. It's one thing to say, I didn't like the movie, but I like their previous movies. They can definitely act, but I don't know what happened in this movie because they just were a hot mess. And, I didn't like the styling. I didn't like the hair and the makeup styling. I thought they could have done better. Versus saying, you know what, that person is ugly, they're nasty, they can't act, they're trash, the movie was trash. So there's a different way to say what you want to say, and it can turn either nasty or it can turn like, okay, this is really just this person's opinion and, they have the right to it. But with social media and the internet, people, I think, take it too far. And they especially take it too far when they're not showing their face and they're hiding behind a keyboard. It's one thing when you're showing your face because then you can be subjected to the same scrutiny that you're giving someone else. But when you're hiding behind a keyboard and you don't want to show your face, It's a different story. I think that gives people, when they're anonymous, so to speak, I think it gives people this extra superpower that I think would get deflated if they actually showed their face, and could be subjected to the same scrutiny that they're given towards the person that they're giving it to. So she cited that back in 2020, but then she recently on the Tamron Hall show gave us a little more insight as to why she really called it quits, especially since the show was very successful. She said she called it quits because not only were people being nasty to her and mean and just unkind, she said she actually got threats on her life based upon certain shows that she did or certain things that she said during certain shows. She never told us whether or not these threats came from previous people she tried to help, or were they just random fans that was watching the show, got pissed, and decided they was going to threaten her. She did not say. It's interesting. I will say this: I watched the show, and there were certain guests that during the show and after the show, they said how pissed and disappointed they were, and everybody, of course, they blame everything on editing and misunderstanding. And that's, they told production XYZ, but they thought they told production XYZ in confidence, and then it was utilized. And so I guess in some ways, but maybe not, I would love for her to tell us exactly where these threats came from. Like, who was it? Was it random fans, or was it people that was previously on the show? I know when Sheree Whitfield was on there, she did not like some things that went down on the show. There were several people that didn't. Lisa Ray was on the show. I want to say the Braxtons was on the show. She had so many people. She had Karrueche Tran after she broke up with Chris Brown. So she had so many celebrities and non-celebrities that she tried to help on that show. And I want to say Terrell Owens. So she had a lot of people. What do I think? What are my thoughts? Okay. One, and now she also said, before I go into my thoughts, she also said, now for people to have access to her, they're going to have to pay. And I'm not mad at her, because she said, on the show, pretty much the people, had easier access because they could write in, and their story could be selected and they could be on there. But now if you want her teaching, her healing, her insight on your situation, you're going to have to give up those dollars. So what are my thoughts about the threats? Her final season. I watched her final season. I loved it. What I would love to see now is, because I think so many people criticize her and they was like, she's not helping anybody. What I would like to see is a show. Just come back with a show now. She doesn't have to be subjected to anything, but come back with a show now and tell us, do a Where Are They Now from Iyanla Fix My Life, and just have the people talk that were previously on her show. And, did it really help them heal? Did it really help them, get over whatever it is they came to her show to have, her fix? And in addition to that, to all the people out there, when you're doing your comments, or you're going to say something to somebody, or you watch something and you just don't like the way it goes down, voice your opinion about the way it goes down. But to go as far as to saying you're going to threaten someone's life, I think it's just insanity to me. I don't get it, and I truly don't understand that. So because I love Iyanla, I wish her well, and I'm glad that she let go of the toxic piece in her life, even though it was a successful show. I know it's not easy to decide, like, I'm going to walk away from this money, but she chose her mental health over a paycheck, right? And I think for some of us, it could be easier than, others, right? Some people, they don't have a choice. They have to stay in a toxic job or whatever, because if they don't, it's like, well, how would they pay their rent or their mortgage, and how would they feed their kids? But if you happen to be in a situation where it's just completely toxic, and you have to wonder, Am I going to choose my health, which is wealth, over the job? But, how will I still feed my kids? I say, make a plan and stay at the job as long as you could. But in the meantime, behind the scenes, start looking for another one. Save your money differently, and, pray that something else comes through so that you can be removed out of that toxic situation. And sometimes God may not remove you out of the situation. He may remove the people that are making it toxic for you. So it's not always, like you're going to be the one to move. Maybe they will be moved. So guys, thanks for watching. Let me know how you feel about this situation with Iyanla. I think it's disgusting and sad that people were threatening her life. It makes no sense to me. It's like you can have your opinion and say what you need to say, but you don't have to just tear somebody down and threaten their life because you don't like what they had to say. Chat with me in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.